Why is a grain of sand like a trial in a Christian's life? Because both are irritating at first. All kidding aside, this comparison helps us understand how something beautiful can emerge from a painful experience. Just like a pearl forms around an irritant, our faith can grow stronger through the challenges we face. We may not always understand why we go through difficult times, but we can trust that God can use them for our good. Think of the oyster patiently layering nacre around a grain of sand. In the same way, God works in our lives, using our trials to shape us into people of strength and beauty. It's not an easy process, but the end result is something precious and valuable. Just as a pearl is a testament to the oyster's endurance, our faith, tested by trials, becomes a testament to God's faithfulness. Remember, even amidst the storms of life, God is with us. He sees our pain, hears our cries, and holds us in His loving arms. He promises to never leave us nor forsake us, and He will use every experience, even the painful ones, to draw us closer to Him. Suffering is a universal language. It transcends cultures, languages, and even religious beliefs. Everyone, at some point in their lives, will encounter pain, loss, or disappointment. For Christians, these trials can feel especially perplexing. We may question why a loving God would allow us to experience hardship. Yet it's within these difficult seasons that our faith is tested and refined. The Bible doesn't shy away from the reality of suffering. In fact, it's filled with stories of men and women who faced immense trials. From Job's agonizing losses to David's flight from Saul, the scriptures remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. These biblical figures teach us that it's possible to remain faithful even when surrounded by pain. Their stories offer a message of hope and resilience. They show us that God is present in our suffering, even when He seems distant. He understands our pain, He cares for us deeply, and He promises to walk with us through every valley. The process of pearl formation is fascinating. It begins when an irritant, like a grain of sand, finds its way into an oyster's shell. The oyster, unable to expel the irritant, reacts by covering it with layers of nacre, a smooth iridescent substance. Over time, these layers build up, eventually forming a beautiful pearl. This process is a powerful metaphor for the Christian journey. We will all face trials and challenges that feel like irritants in our lives. These trials may come in the form of illness, loss, disappointment, or persecution. But just as the oyster transforms an irritant into something beautiful, God can use our trials to create something precious within us. The key is to respond to these trials with faith and perseverance. Instead of allowing our pain to embitter us, we can choose to trust that God is working all things together for our good. We can choose to see our trials as opportunities for growth, knowing that God is using them to shape us into the people He created us to be. When we're in the midst of a trial, it's hard to see any beauty in it. All we can feel is the pain, the confusion, the doubt. But just as a pearl's beauty is hidden within the oyster shell, so too is there beauty to be found in our struggles. This beauty may not be immediately apparent, but it's there nonetheless. One of the most beautiful things about trials is that they reveal our true strength. When we face adversity head-on and refuse to give up, we discover a reservoir of resilience within us that we never knew we had. Trials also have a way of drawing us closer to God. When we're at our weakest, we're more likely to turn to Him for help. We learn to rely on His strength when our own strength fails. And as we experience His faithfulness through these difficult times, our faith grows deeper and stronger. Just as a pearl can be admired for its beauty, so too can our stories of overcoming trials inspire and encourage others. When we share our experiences with authenticity and vulnerability, we offer hope to those who may be going through similar challenges. Our stories remind them that they're not alone, and that it's possible to emerge from trials stronger and more faithful. Think of your own life. Who has inspired you with their story of overcoming adversity? Perhaps it was a friend who battled a serious illness with unwavering faith, or a family member who faced a financial crisis with grace and dignity. Their stories likely resonated with you because they were real, relatable, and ultimately hopeful. In the same way, our stories have the power to impact others. When we share our struggles and triumphs, we create a ripple effect of hope and encouragement. We remind others that God is faithful, that He is present in our pain, and that He can use our experiences to bring beauty from ashes. Have you ever noticed how a pearl seems to glow from within? This inner radiance, known as luster, is what makes pearls so captivating. It's a reflection of the light that passes through the layers of nacre. In the same way, our lives can reflect God's glory, even in the midst of trials. When we respond to adversity with faith, hope, and love, we become beacons of light in a dark world. Our actions speak volumes about the character of God, demonstrating His love, grace, and faithfulness to those around us. Even when we don't have all the answers, our unwavering faith can be a source of strength and encouragement to others. Remember, our trials are not in vain. God uses them to shape us, refine us, and prepare us for greater things. As we allow Him to work in our lives, we'll find that our capacity to love, forgive, and persevere grows stronger. And as we reflect His glory through our trials, we become living testaments to His faithfulness and power. It's easy to focus on the pain of our trials and lose sight of the bigger picture. But just as the oyster must endure the discomfort of the irritant to produce a pearl, so too must we embrace the process of growth that comes with trials. This means accepting that pain is a part of life and that God can use it for our good. It's also important to remember that we're not alone in this journey. God is with us every step of the way, offering comfort, strength, and guidance. He promises to never leave us nor forsake us, and He will equip us with everything we need to overcome any obstacle. So, the next time you're facing a trial, try to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on the pain, look for the ways in which God is using this experience to shape you. Ask Him to help you see the bigger picture and to trust that He is working all things together for your good. The Christian journey is not always easy. There will be times when we face trials that test our faith and challenge our resolve. But we must remember that God is faithful, and He will never allow us to be tempted beyond what we can bear. He has a plan for our lives, and He uses every experience, even the painful ones, to draw us closer to Him and to mold us into the people He created us to be. So let us persevere through our trials, knowing that they are not in vain. Let us embrace the process of growth that comes with adversity, trusting that God is using it to shape us into something beautiful. And let us never lose sight of the hope that is ours in Christ Jesus, a hope that does not disappoint. For in Him we find the strength to endure, the courage to overcome, and the assurance that we are loved beyond measure